Hey, how's it going? Mario here. Let's just talk about the markets. Let's get right into it. It's been a fun inside week last week. Price held the month-to-date anchored VWAP from last Friday after the gap down on QQQ. Shorter time frames are trading under the declining 5-day moving average, which is telling me to exercise a bit of the caution for now on a shorter time frame basis. The daily time frames need some sort of consolidation after a huge move like this for the moving averages to correct itself, especially after a strong rally. Maybe a pullback towards the 492s to potentially fill this gap and then proceed to push through as the 50 SMA and the 20 SMA start to slope to the upside above the 200 on the daily. Will be good to see on a longer time frame to close out the year strong. It's healthy here for a higher low log. Let's see if they can hold on towards the 200-day moving average after the backtest and the gap fill on the QQQ. Depends on how they react around this 490s to 488 zones. It's going to determine where we're going to go down the line. When it comes to shorter time frames, the trades, I'll be looking for reversals or near that 492s. If it's offered, I'll take it. If not, I'll wait until it offers. We'll wait and see how it plays out, especially leading into a shorter weekend into the upcoming week. When it comes to SPY, it's a little bit different here because we held on towards the 200-day moving average on Friday, and not just the 200-day moving average, and also the month-to-date anchored VWAP, which is around that 575.80s. So leading into the long weekend, the question becomes whether we can hold the lows which they made from last Friday and leave this gap for the future fill, maybe sometimes around the seasonality, around the August and September weakness. We'll wait and see. Into next week, the only level I'll be watching for is this 574 to 576. If they come back down here again, these levels won't be the same anymore. So they might potentially lose the 200-day moving average. So if they do lose it, the gap at the 564 will be the point of contact for the reversal trades. So now the only question which I have is SPY going to lose the 200-day moving average, thereby pulling the QQQ back, trapping a lot of shorts, and then eventually breaking out to close the year strong. Now the tariff talks are back on the table again. We might see some elevated volatility. We'll see how it goes. So into next week, as mentioned before, 574 to 576 zones. If they lose, 564 gap will be the point of contact, and that's the reversal trade I'll be watching for. Anything under open stores for that 50-day moving average test at $555 zone. If the uncertainty at tariffs gets back on the table, and if it gets worse, as we saw last Friday, we might see the extra volatility on the table again. Still under the 5-day moving average, the daily is still starting to get better. So on the shorter time frame, exercise caution. Doesn't mean go short yet because daily is looking great. So shorter term pullback for a longer term continuation is the thought process which I have right now at this moment. So when it comes to the swing trades, we had RGTI. We had opened some longs on it around $11.60 a while back. It appreciated around 30% from the entry price. Took its time, but it never hit the stop losses. It gave us an opportunity to average up on the trades as well. Paid pretty good. We trimmed our positions last Friday by 50% at 1450-ish. And the stops on the runners are moved to break-evens now. As long as the trend is to the upside, we're going to hold on to the position. And when they lose the 5-day moving average, we'll make some changes accordingly. And the next trade which we took was Reddit. This was a typical IPO AVWAP trade. We anchored the AVWAP from the IPO day. The initial positions from 108s worked pretty good as we trimmed some of our positions toward 125, and we kind of averaged up once they tested it again, and that's the trade which failed and it stopped us out, I believe, last Thursday. And there's no reason to be involved right here. Let's wait for the price to get back over the IPO AVWAP, and then we can go for round 2 again. So this is for Reddit. The trade which I'm watching for into next week is ALV. Keeping an eye out here, there was a false breakdown on the weekly time frame and a push towards the top of the range again. The best case scenario for a low risk entry will be a retracement towards the anchored VWAP from the all-time highs where the buyer stepped in last Friday, or maybe a breakout towards this 103 area. This will be an area of interest, anything above 103, or if they pull back towards this 91, the bottom of this zone again, might offer us a really great entry for a potential push towards this 120, 130 zones again to the upside for a breakout. Again, the point of trading the breakout is to get involved by anticipating the breakout early. So when we actually see the breakout, we can start trimming and then add more when they retest and hold on to the same breakout area at 103s again. So the next one which I'm watching is Bros. If they can recover the 5-day moving average and get back about $70, this will put the stock back onto the watch list for me. I'll keep track of this into the upcoming short week. If they set up, we'll take the risk. If not, well, it's as usual. We'll wait until it sets up, So there's no reason to risk anything at this moment. For now, one of those, add it to the watch list and wait for it to build sort of setup. No reason to rush into it at the moment. So we already have open positions on RGTI. We got stopped out on Reddit, and we do have some runners on ticker symbols like Monster, MNST. There's no reason to make any changes to the runners because last time I checked, the Monster is still in an uptrend. So, and as long as they lose the 5-day moving average or we see some distribution on the daily time frames or on the 65-minute time frames, we're not going to make any changes to that. So into next week, I will be watching ALV and BROS for new potential positions. We'll see if it sets up. If it's set up, great, good for us. We'll take it. If not, we'll wait until it sets up. Well, until then, have a great long weekend and have a great rest of the day. Take high probability trades, manage the risk wisely. Talk to you guys soon. Take care.